Okay, people. I swear. I am going to have a nervous breakdown. Like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my life, man. I'm gonna call this one, the coroner should have came to the house. Seriously, man. I got a phone call from the coroner's office today. Right? In a nutshell, people, this woman basically said that it was an accident. Because in Shimei's medical records, it stated that she said she had been doing cocaine once a week prior to March of 2017. And she was smoking pot. It's one little teeny something that's written by a writer who, when you look through Shimei's medical files, they list her as Punjabi. They list her as a Punjabi person. She's not Punjabi. She's African American Caucasian. That's what she is. She is not Punjabi. A Punjabi who speaks fluent English. That's the first thing. Throughout all of it, she's listed as Punjabi. And then the father of Mari is listed as the husband, the partner, the boyfriend, the husband. Like, what the fuck? He wasn't a husband, never married Shimei, wasn't living with Shimei, wasn't no partner to Shimei, wasn't no fucking boyfriend to Shimei. He was a sperm donor that lived off of Shimei. Pull up his taxes. When was he working, people? If he was working, it would show on his taxes. Any legitimate job, that is. Oh, but the father, at best, all he did was smoke marijuana from the dispensary. But Shimei was doing cocaine by herself once a week prior to March of 2017. And because of that, because of March of 2017, and what she told somebody that thought that she was a Punjabi, the coroners said it was an accident. As I'm saying, well, again, I'm not surprised, because the kickbacks are just too fucking large for you guys to do anything about it. Oh, I don't get no kickback from this, you know, I'm just doing my job. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I know you're not getting no kickbacks personally. Personally, you're not getting those kickbacks. But they're there because for all these tens of thousands of people dying from fentanyl, people, and the majority of them are homeless, poor people, who's saving money here? On the housing, on the welfare checks, on the food banks, on the healthcare system, on all of it. It's the government and the government employees. The coroner is employed by the government. Maybe the woman herself isn't personally getting a personal fucking kickback, but at the end of the day, when it comes to pay her fucking pension plan and all this other shit, yeah, she's getting kickbacks. So I don't know what that means, people, in terms of it was an accident. Based on, here's a piece of paper, here's a comment written by a writer that happened to put down that Shimei said while she was going into the hospital to have the baby in September. She goes into the hospital in September to have the baby. They ask a bunch of questions. Shimei is honest about answering the questions. Said, yes, I did some coke back in March before I decided to keep the baby. And then once I decided to keep the baby, because my mom, said keep the baby, I stopped doing the coke. But I was doing it once a week. Well, who was she doing it with once a week? That's what I'd like to fucking know. Certainly not the father, because the father sat up there and said, I don't do drugs. All I do is smoke pot from the dispensary. I get legal pot. Legal pot. I smoke legal pot. I don't work. I don't have a job. I just smoke pot every day. Well, my girlfriend, wife. Well, my wife, she's snorting coke once a week. Well, nobody knows about it. Hey? Nobody knows about it. All her family doesn't know about it. Brother, sister, mother, Nobody knows. Her dad. Nobody knows that this is what Shimei's doing. But the writer that thinks she's Punjabi, who calls the father to Amari the husband, right? But for some reason, the coroner seems to think that just because she admitted to something in March of 2017, what happened in April of 2018, from 17 to 18, a whole fucking year, created an accident. And that's set in stone. Doesn't matter what I have to say. Doesn't matter what anybody in this family has to say about the character of this person. All the shit that we went through. All the shit that Shimei went through. The threats that we had to endure. None of that matters because that's hearsay. That's what she said. Well, that's all hearsay. That's hearsay? Well, what about what's that little right there? I can show you the piece of paper because I have it because I remember when I was in the hospital with Amari, I came across it. So no surprises there in terms of I've already read it before she told me. And I made a note of it. But I wouldn't determine the death of my daughter based on that. And I sure in the hell wouldn't justify it when people are telling you other things that are much more severe than what is listed there in terms of, well, let me just smash out all your windows. Let me just burn down your house. Why don't you have everybody come outside so I can blow their fucking heads off? Let me beat your son with a baseball bat with my buddies. Do you know my oldest son got beat by a fucking baseball bat with a bunch of fucking guys out there because of the husband? Because my son was trying to protect his sister from the so-called husband who didn't like to work, but expected Shimei to fucking go get him an apartment because he didn't even have a fucking bank account, couldn't get a bank account, couldn't get a driver's license, but all he did was smoke pot from the dispensary. That was his only role in Shimei once a week by herself in the fucking closet. And the coroner wants to call it an accident. Because anything that we have to say is hearsay. My son didn't get beat by a baseball bat with a bunch of fucking black dudes running around in the dark. No. As he was trying to protect his sister. Trying to run those fucking dudes out of here. My son took on those fucking dudes, and those fucking dudes fucking beat my son with a fucking baseball bat. And the person who witnessed it, that lives in this freaking BC housing, doesn't want to write a statement, people. Because she's afraid that those same assholes will go after her. If it should ever go to fucking court, she doesn't want her name brought up. But that was an accident. Right? That's just hearsay. Right? I'll tell you, people. I'm gonna fucking lose it pretty soon. I'm so tired. Not lose it in a bad way, but just shut down. I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna shut down because I'm tired of life, man. I'm tired of these, like Amari. Right? I am writing complaints to the complaint board within Fraser Health Authority because of what they did to Amari with their MRI machine. I'm not going to get into too much detail other than they botched it. And then they tried to justify it and gaslight me by saying that they couldn't diagnose Amari because they really need that MRI situation, even though it literally, and I'm saying literally, scared the shit out of him halfway through it because they botched it. They were completely unprofessional. College students working with $1 million machine, acting like they're in a fucking cafeteria, you know, and life is just one big party. And they know they can act like assholes in there, right? Because the government ain't going to do shit about their behavior because they have immunity. So my grandson woke up halfway through it in the fucking dark, in a fucking machine that's like catastrophic in noise and scared the fucking shit literally out of him. And then they wanted to do it again. And I'm like, okay, so what happens if that one doesn't work? Then what? Do we do it again? Yes. I'm like, you're kidding me. So if it takes 5 or 7 times to get it fucking right, you're going to put my grandson in that machine 5 to 7 fucking times, scare the shit out of him every fucking time, so that whatever you're doing to his brain becomes permanent damage? Because the machine itself doesn't cause damage unless, of course, it heats up the infant. It can heat up an infant. It can burn skin. But outside of that, they say an MRI machine doesn't cause damage. Okay. But what about excessive violence, which in this case, it would be in the dark, in a machine, all by yourself as a little teeny weeny baby with this humongous loud noise that just gets louder and louder as the 20-minute, 30-minute process goes through to the point where you wake up halfway through it and shit yourself. That causes brain damage, people. So now it's my job to document it through my complaint. As I wait for an MRI downtown or wherever it is with the children's hospital, being told that it might take 1.5 years to get that because the doctor obviously works at Surrey Memorial Hospital, even though he has worked at the children's hospital. But the statistics of children not waking up is better at the children's hospital because they give them IV versus a sedation. And I'm sure that the staff that do the MRIs aren't running around acting like it's a fucking party with everybody got a pole stuck up their ass because they want to show who's boss. In other words, 2 of them will start arguing with me. One girl had little pigtails, bouncing around. You know, I'm asking a simple question like, what's going on? I just want to see. Like, tell me, right? No, slams the door. And then she's going in and out of the machine area and slamming the door. And I said to her coworker, this woman is rude. Like, what's wrong with this? Oh, no, she's not. She's not rude. I said, yes, she is. Oh, no. And I said, well, fuck, that's stupid. Don't start swearing. You're swearing and I'll call security. I said, you people are nuts, man. You're fucking nuts! And they want to do it again? They purposely woke him up. Honestly, I heard him crying in there. I heard a faint cry, people. I said, I hear my grandson cry. Oh, no, he's not. That's not. He's sleeping. Well, fuck, if he was so sleeping, why the hell did he wake up halfway through it? They don't care if they destroy his brain. They probably wanted to see what that fucking shit was doing to his brain. That's why they wanted to do it again and again and again. They didn't care how many fucking times they did it. Because the more they do it, the more they do it, the more they do it, they can bring in a fucking study and say, well, if we do this, we scare the shit out of people enough times. This is what happens to the brain of animals. Now we need to find out what happens with people. So the best person that we can do it with is the old people and the fucking young. So I'm standing up against that, people. Right? being told by the doctor that he can't diagnose my grandson until he has the MRI. Well, I don't know. Before the MRI machine showed up, what the fuck did people do before? It's pretty fucking simple. He's got cerebral palsy. But cerebral palsy, that's not a definition of what's wrong with him. That only tells us a symptom. So, what I'm trying to say, people, is I have a lot of paperwork ahead of me. You know, I've got the trademark coming up. I've got the non-profit books I have to do because the federal government wants me to do the T2 form since 2015. No, I'm slowly but surely clearing out Uncle John's room so that Andre can have a room, right? You know what I mean? This is just stupid. We just gave Shimei's mattress away like yesterday. It was sitting in the basement where she died since freaking April. Like, we haven't used that basement for 6 months. And the mattress is finally out of there. So I gotta go down there and start rearranging and organizing and, you know, wiping things down and, oh God. As I'm being told that it was an accident based on something that some third-party person that labeled my daughter to be a Punjabi who was married did it to herself because she admitted to the intake worker when she was going into the hospital to give birth to Amari that she had done cocaine. Apparently, we know that's set in stone. I mean, there's no mistakes there. Those writers, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing. I can go into Andre's old MCFD files and I can pull, and I've done a video on it already, misinformation, and I can pull out fucking files in there where the social workers were writing bullshit, and I got video to show that there was bullshit as they were accusing my kids of not wanting to see Andre. When in fact it was the social workers that were canceling the fucking appointments. But they purposely lied in their note-taking. So that's the same fucking shit that's going on over there. Right? But that's not what killed her, people. It was the fentanyl that fucking killed her. A government fucking legal drug. A government drug. It was the government drug that killed her. Not the cocaine. It was the government drug that killed her. And they just want to list it down as an accident, with the rest of the tens of thousands of people that are dying from their drug. As they falsify their fucking files and tweak their records and then quite possibly do their experiments on the vulnerable children falling through the fucking cracks so they can fill in the gaps when it, well, this animal study says if we scare the shit out of them, it alters the brain of an animal. But we're not too sure about the humans yet because we haven't got a test subject to volunteer their time. You want to go volunteer your brain to be put in an MRI, to be scared the shit out of, so that they can do that 4 or 5 times until they finally get the fucking MRI right on you, so that they can come back and do another fucking brain scan to find out how your brain has been altered? Who wants to volunteer for that except for maybe somebody who can't? And they'll just do it anyway. Right? As you're expected to allow them to fucking do it because the doctor needs to test in order to determine that it's cerebral palsy, even though he says cerebral palsy is not a real fucking disease or illness or injury. It's just a symptom. But go online, look in the books, everybody says cerebral this, cerebral that, you know, they got fucking clinics for kids with cerebral palsy. Anyway, people, like I said, I'm going to lose it. I'm so tired just from the pressure. From the pressure of it all. Just tired. So I don't know. The only reason Tisha, don't do no video. Don't talk about the MRI. Don't talk about the fact that it was designated as a freaking accident by the coroner. You know, keep it quiet. Don't let nobody know. Suffer in silence. You know? Put your head down and be ashamed. Or whatever she's thinking. And I'm like, no, don't worry, I won't. Well, I guess she's right. Well, yes, you will. I know you. You're gonna go do a video, Mom. And I'm like, you know, yeah, because I don't want to leave it hanging on the last video that I just did. And the last video I just did, 5 days ago or whatever it was before he had the MRI, in terms of Amari. Right? It was bad enough that they were, literally, people, I'm going to show you how they were fucking doing his blood test. And you tell me, as an adult, would you allow this, somebody that's supposed to go to school to learn how to do blood tests without causing a lot of discomfort and pain? Would you allow somebody to do it this way for you? Here's your arm. Okay? All right, in here. They can't see no veins in here because baby's got baby fat. But they can see it here quite very well because I found it and told them to do it there. And when they did, they got it like second try. Right? Here. No. Here we go. No, they're going. Okay, so I'm the technician. This is how it worked. Going in. Oh, you see this because they get you mad. This is why they do it. They want you mad. Maybe not to everybody, right? Because if everybody got mad, they'd be up shit creek without a paddle. But for someone like me, they want me mad, right? Because, you know, just keeps me further away from following up with that lawsuit with Uncle John, right? Okay, so here it is. So they're coming in. They go like that. Doesn't work. Pull it out. Then they go like that. Pull it out. Then they go like that. Pull it out. Then go like that. Pull it out. Go like that. And by this time, you're screaming, stop! Stop! Oh, but they're not satisfied with that. Now they're going into arm number 2. Here it is here. Same thing. Going in. They don't get it. Pull it out. Bring it on an angle. Pull it out, pull it on a different angle, right? Pull it out, go this way. Stop. And then they want to go back and do the other arm again, people. That's when I said, stop, go get the doctor. Okay? There has to be an alternative, right? That is unacceptable. In the meantime, Amari is screaming. Who wouldn't scream? Because when you look at it, go in, pull out, go like that. Pull out, go like that. Pull out, go in, pull out, go like that. Does that make any fucking sense? Huh? Seems to me that the guy was doing it on purpose. He wanted to cause pain. Right? Just like with that MRI blowing up and Amari waking up screaming in complete fright. That makes a permanent imprint on his brain. And if you keep imprinting, what the fuck do you think is going to happen to his brain? But the MRI would show that after the fact, right? Because that's the goal, maybe, eh? Maybe. They have the animal studies, but they don't have the human studies yet. Because nobody is going to volunteer for that. I point out the vein right in here. The guy goes, oh, okay. Whoop. Oh, missed. Oh, I got it. Isn't that amazing? We were told one set of blood tests, but after their MRI, they wanted to do another one for some strange reason. And I wasn't there for it. Tisha was. And she'd seen it. They did it again to Amari. Tisha had to tell him to stop fucking over poking. She asked him, why are you doing that? Why? Why are you going like this? In and out, in and out, in and out. Can't you're supposed to go on the hand. I told the doctor to write it down on the fucking file, to go on the hand. Oh yeah, okay, I'll make it so they look for the vein. Well, obviously, it never got written down on the file, because if it got written down on the file, the second blood test person wouldn't have been doing the same fucking thing. It took Tisha to tell him to stop, to do it, and use the hand to make it done right. And they want to do another MRI. And another one. And another one. Until they get it fucking right. And I said, no. No, we'll wait. We'll wait, people. We'll wait for the Children's Hospital because they have better services for the little ones that require these services and don't have a voice. Oh, but they don't always work there either, you know. Sometimes the children do wake up under anesthesia. I said, well, that's fine. I'll take my chances there because the statistics are lower. Just because you tell me it's a 50-50 doesn't mean he's going to win 50% of the fucking time. It only means that when you win, you get 50% of the fucking money. But it takes 1 million people to win only one to win that 50-50. You can't let them fool you. And they're so quick at fucking doing it. And they catch you fucking blindsided. Like when I walked up to that MRI, oh, don't come near the machine. You stay away from the door. Stay away from the door. I said, whoa. Oh, yeah, it's metal, it's magnetism. Stand back, stand back. As if I was going to go walk into the room. And that's another thing. Go look up MRIs on the fucking computer. And you will see that, one, your people, all these other facilities, they have with lights on. They have it where parents can go in and be with the children when they go through these MRIs. Right? So while Amari was in the dark all by himself, with the door being opened and closed and slammed, purposely pulled to slam the fucking door just so that the baby could sleep. As they were fiddling with their machine for 10 fucking minutes because something was wrong. And then he wasn't getting oxygen enough, so the nurse had to go in there and give him fucking oxygen. But at the end of the day, he was in there all by himself and he woke up halfway through it. And I really wonder why. As if maybe he was awake the whole time. Because like I said, I heard a faint cry, people. So anyway, that's what's going on. And because there is no diagnoses based on an MRI, a botched one at that. Some form I signed for anything special that we might need has gone out the wind. Not that we need anything right now because we don't. But in terms of like a wheelchair and that type of thing, right? Amari does not need a wheelchair at this age. Right? Because there's no, like, fixed diagnose. The doctor's not going to put down cerebral palsy because he doesn't believe there is such a thing as called cerebral palsy, and he wants the MRI. So, he is going to get some occupational therapy and that type of stuff. But outside of that, like, the whole experience was... I mean, the ward where he was at was fine. Everything was fine there until we got to the MRI machine. Oh, and obviously the blood. Like I said, it was like they wanted to upset him. They wanted to make him cry. They wanted to fucking frighten him. Not only him, but us. No, I don't know what kind... And this is why I'm saying I'm going to be writing letters of complaints and I'm going to send it to the proper fucking complaint department through Fraser Health Authority. And I don't give a shit. Okay? You don't go into a baby's arm straight, pull out, turn it on an angle, pull out, turn it on another angle, pull out, to go over there, to pull out, to go like that again, to pull out, to go into the next arm, do it over there, and then expect to go back to the same arm that you just did 5 fucking minutes ago and start all over again. Who does that? Who does that? When you can simply look and see the vein, and if you can't get it the first time, you'll get it the second time. That happened twice to Amari. And it took me and Tisha to get them to use his hand. To use his hand. So that they wouldn't frighten him and injure him repeatedly. So I have to take time, sit down, and write that shit out. Among other things, in terms of the MRI situation. Right. As I'm being told that based on something that was written down by a third-party person who considers my daughter to be a married Punjabi woman, a married with a husband Punjabi woman who, was snorting coke once a week by herself, right? Well, the husband was just smoking pot from the dispensary. In March of 2017. And then by April of 2018, she was back at it and did it to herself. So therefore, she died from an accident on a government drug.